What's going on? So I want to take the time to give Alex Rodriguez props because he put in perspective about Barry Bonds and Shohei Ohtani. Some people, this is becoming a situation where some people, got exceptions to it. Now I'm gonna tell you something. Baseball is the toughest sport in the of the all the major sports to compete and to be at a high level. And when I feel Shohei Ohtani is one of the 15 greatest players ever, I ain't stuttering. I didn't watch baseball all my life. I go back. There hasn't been a cat like this. Uh, Alex Rodriguez said the guy's like a hybrid of Bonds and Roger Clemens, which is a heck of a compliment. You know. Now, Alex Rodriguez said something, a few other things he had to say. He said Barry Bonds is the greatest baseball player you ever saw, but he gave Ohtani his due. He says he thinks Michael Jordan is the greatest basketball player. He says Barry Bonds is the Michael Jordan of baseball. He said, however, Steph Curry is the greatest 3-point shooter ever, and he said that there are aspects of things that you can debate. Uh, if somebody would know about the sport, it's Alex Rodriguez, and I think that he brought a good perspective. Um, I still think Bonds is the best I've seen. However, Shohei Ohtani, when it's all said and done, he might be in the top five. He might move up. Who knows? It depends on what your criteria is. Because if you're going by MVPs, he's the only person I see who could probably chase Bonds in that department. You know, if you go by his stats, the first 50-50 man. You know, Rodriguez said something interesting. He says he's still stealing bases like Ricky Henderson. I mean, when you're doing 50-50, that speaks volumes. You know, he's beating you in multiple ways. You ain't seen nothing like it. And by the way, the most important thing, if we're going to use a criteria, since he came to the Dodgers, he's been in back-to-back World Series and they've won. So he didn't more than paid his dividend value. You know, he's on par with some of the biggest names who've ever come to LA as free agents. So I mean, to me, his track record speaks for what it is. It speaks to what it is. You know, we could sit here and penny pinch and debate. You know, maybe this or maybe that, but at the end of the day, that cat is legit. That cat has done enough where, to me, it meets the criteria of a guy that belongs in the conversation with some of the greatest has ever played. And I think he's top 15 because I ain't seen nothing like him. It's no hyperbole because if a guy can pitch relief, he doesn't have to go all out, but he can multitask. And he's stealing bases for fun, hit home runs for fun, hit clutch. He beat you in multiple ways. You can't really compare that. And the Bonds Ohtani debate is far more credible than the Jordan LeBron is because baseball is a difficult sport and you have to really put the effort in. And there's a different standards here. And mind you, Ohtani came to the Dodgers. They had already won a ring, but his impressiveness is not unlike a Kevin Durant situation. He's actually even another layer up, another step up. See, some people get scared of change because when it starts to step on toes and somebody comes along as a new blood, people are like, oh, you can't be this and that and the other. I don't feel that way. Now, I might be guilty of that in music, but then again, hey, I acknowledge when somebody's great. If they really are great, not people that are made believe to be coming up because it's like something that supposedly, but true greatness is earned. Sports is a little bit different ball game because people are more jaded because they're really composed to their childhood or what they saw in the young adulthood. I don't have no problem with a Shohei Ohtani, just like I had no problem with a Patrick Mahomes. Bring it on. I like to see something I ain't seen before because it makes it debatable. It makes you wonder, especially when they win at multiple levels and they beat you in multiple ways. How can you argue against that? Well, you can, but you be outside by yourself. But I think if anybody can be a good judge of talent, it's Alex Rodriguez. And he said in his opinion, Bonds is the Michael Jordan of baseball. He said, well, Shohei Ohtani's a bad dude. And he gave him his props and his dues. And I think Shohei is a top 15 player right now. I take him top 15 ever. And I think he can only go up because if the cat lands in the 400, 500 home runs And he's gonna have like 300 or 400 stolen bases, and then you factor in the pitching, and then you factor in the fact that he done brought rings to LA and his impact. How can you not look at him? And then the multiple league MVPs, how can you not hold him in that high regard? Because he got a chance to be one of the 10 greatest Dodgers ever while you jobbing. And I am well versed about Roy Campanella, Jackie Robinson, Sandy Koufax, Don Drysdale, Oral Hershiser, Fernando Valenzuela. I'm well versed about those Dodger greats. But in Pee Wee Reese and all that. But you got a chance with this cat to be in that conversation because he is history right before your eyes. So it's gonna be compelling. And I don't put just anybody next to Bonds. Like I told you before, anything before 1947, before Jackie Robinson, Larry Doby integrated baseball, comes with an asterisk. That includes Babe Ruth and all that. So I ain't got no problem with that. No problem at all. That's how I feel. Wash your hands, keep your mind clear. Watch out for nothing. Share the video if you like. Stay safe, stay blessed, stay woke, stay free. I'm out one time. Peace.